It appears to me that there are two parts to this. One is ideology and one is practicality. And it's fair play to the Labour government when they came in. They said this is something that they intended to do. They told the public about it. They put it in their manifesto, and I respect them for that. And that's really important when you compare it to the winter fuel side of things. But it's hard to see that it's not an ideological thing when the Education Secretary tweets, and I quote, "Our state schools need teachers more than private schools need embossed stationery. Our children need mental health support more than private schools need new pools. Our students need careers advice more than private schools need astroturfs and pitches." This reeks of prejudice and propagates a class war. And I'm sorry to say that she isn't here to defend that, because I hope actually she's a decent woman, and I'd like to expect that this is something that she would apologise for. Because actually, as I correctly pointed out, this is a manifesto commitment from the Labour Party, and they have a mandate to deliver it. But they also have a mandate to deliver it in a way that takes into account the impact it is going to have. And we've heard both in the responses today and in responses that I've asked to the leader that an impact assessment has been looked at. Well, if they want to champion putting this in place, why not share that information so that everyone can see? The Dixie Grammar School in my constituency, one of the private schools that's going to be affected, has simply asked, why can't we see what the impact will be? That doesn't seem an unreasonable question. But the second part is something that I raised to the Secretary of State, where the Minister, excuse my mistake, earlier, was at the heart of this is the children. And I do not see the rush to put this in January. The Prime Minister put his child in an apartment because he was worried about the impact it would have on his education for his children. I respect that. So can he not see the problem of implementing exactly the same kind of policy and impact by tearing kids out of schools, which, mark my words, it will happen, and that's what the two schools in my constituency have said, to their education? Where is that in a report? And as been mentioned here, the biggest problem I'm going to have in my constituency is that we don't have the places for people who move out of those schools. So, Madam Deputy Speaker, what happens then? We haven't heard yet from this government how they'll deal with that. And that, for me, is the fundamental, because how are children and families going to cope with that? The Prime Minister insulated his child. How's the government going to insulate the children of the nation?
Thank you.